Libra, my dear soul in balance, what's about to unfold in your life has never happened to anyone else before, and that's exactly why you're here. This is not just another horoscope. This is a sacred message. A powerful convergence is happening in your energy field right now, and the universe has chosen you to receive it. Right here. Right now. You see, something extraordinary is stirring in your cosmic blueprint. A rare alignment between Jupiter, Venus, and Pluto is opening a once-in-a-lifetime gateway. It only happens every 84 years, and it's happening in your sign. If your heart has felt restless, if your dreams have been vivid, or if something deep inside has been whispering, "There's more waiting for me," then listen closely. You didn't click on this video by accident. Your energy, your ancestors, and your higher self guided you here for a reason. In your latest tarot spread, I saw something I've never seen before in over 20 years of reading. A radiant vortex of golden and aquamarine light swirling around your aura, pulsing like a heartbeat from the divine. It was so powerful, I had to pause and take a breath. Libra, this light is not just energy. It is a call to rise. And you are the one who was born to answer. This reading is not just about love or money or timing, though all of that will unfold. This is about your role as a soul chosen to rewrite the karma of your maternal bloodline. I saw it clearly. 3 generations of women behind you, especially one strong ancestral spirit, a great-grandmother, perhaps gently whispering, "You are the one we've been waiting for." Libra, your life isn't falling apart, it's aligning. Your destiny isn't delayed, it's activating. And this video will reveal why everything is finally beginning to make sense. So let me take a moment to thank you truly for being here. For every like, every comment, every time you subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, you're not just supporting this channel. You're helping keep alive the very light that brings these messages to those who need them most. Your presence, your energy, your openness, it all matters. It's what keeps this circle sacred and strong. And I want you to know, from the bottom of my heart, your support is a blessing. But Libra, you haven't seen anything yet. Because what the universe is about to reveal over the next few minutes could shift everything. And I say that with the deepest respect for your intuition. So don't go anywhere. Now let me ask you this: what's been pulling at your heart lately? What dream, what memory, what whisper brought you here? Take a moment. Breathe. And if a number, any number, just flashed into your mind, I want you to comment it below. That number may be more than random. It could be the code your angels are using to speak to you today. And if you feel that this message was meant for you, write it in the comments. Say it clearly. I'm ready to step into my new destiny. Because saying it out loud, even through your keyboard, is how energy becomes reality. Libra, you're not just seeking answers. You are becoming the answer. Now stay with me, because what we're about to unlock together will touch your heart, stir your soul, and set into motion something truly miraculous. Let's begin. There are moments when something deep within us stirs, not with noise, but with an unmistakable sense of presence. You may have felt it already, Libra. It's not confusion, and it's not anxiety. It's the sensation of alignment, as if the unseen threads of your life are being pulled taut by invisible hands. For someone born under your sign, the sign of balance, of grace, of quiet yet unwavering truth, this feeling is not foreign. But this time, it feels different. This time, it feels like a turning point. What the cards revealed in your reading, that golden vortex, that swirl of aquamarine light, is not simply symbolism. It's a representation of a deeper shift in your energy field, a reflection of your internal architecture evolving. Gold and aquamarine are not just colors, they're frequencies. Gold carries the vibration of divine wisdom, of authentic authority, of clarity rooted in self-trust. Aquamarine, on the other hand, speaks to inner peace, emotional transparency, and the ability to express what has long been hidden. When these two lights appear together in your energetic body, it often means a higher version of yourself is trying to emerge, not someone entirely new, but the truest you beneath all the conditioning, roles, and hesitation. This activation isn't happening in isolation. It's taking place because your personal rhythm is syncing with larger cosmic cycles. Think of it this way: the universe doesn't force change, it invites it. You're being invited now, Libra, not just to witness your transformation, but to consciously choose it. That's what free will is: not freedom from challenge, but the freedom to embrace who we truly are when life opens a door. And it is opening. You've spent much of your life navigating the space between light and shadow, understanding both, living in neither fully, always seeking to reconcile extremes. But today, the message is clear: the time for indecision is over. Not because you must rush, or because the pressure is on, but because the clarity you've longed for is finally here. You're not being asked to choose between heart and mind, you're being asked to allow both to work in harmony. Your logic doesn't need to silence your feeling. Your empathy doesn't need to override your truth. There is a middle path, and you, Libra, are built to walk it. This moment also carries echoes of what wise teachings across time have whispered to us: when we are ready, life rises to meet us. Some say the divine waits patiently, never forcing us forward but always making room for our return, a return to authenticity, to peace, to purpose. There's a quiet encouragement in that. A knowing that you're not late. You're not broken. You're simply arriving. So if you felt the tug, if something in your spirit has been aching for more, if you've outgrown the skin you once fit in, to consider this your confirmation. The light you saw in the reading is the light within you, finally awakening. You were never meant to stay in the in-between forever. You were always meant to become the one who holds the balance, not just for others, but for yourself. Let that settle for a moment. And if your heart is nodding in quiet agreement, even if your mind doesn't fully grasp it yet, trust that's enough. Trust that you're being prepared for something not ordinary, something purposeful, something profound. This is your moment to align, to rise, and to finally step into the space that has always had your name on it. Not as a seeker, but as the steady, sovereign Libra you were born to be. Sometimes, a pattern has to run its full course before it begins to unravel, and for Libra, this moment marks the final thread of a long cycle slowly loosening. You may not realize it yet, but the weight you've carried isn't just your own. What you're feeling now, the tiredness, the quiet frustration, even the strange sense of standing at a threshold, is not weakness. It's the quiet signaling of a soul ready to release a burden that didn't start with you, but has found its ending through you. There's a kind of grace in that. When we talk about ancestral cycles, especially those that stretch back 7 generations, we're not speaking metaphorically. Emotional inheritance is real. Beliefs, patterns, responses, they don't just begin at birth. They echo through time, passed down like invisible heirlooms. And in your case, Libra, what's surfacing now is a lineage of silence, survival, and resilience, especially from the women before you. Their stories are written in your nervous system, in the way your heart responds to trust, to giving, to receiving. And here's the truth: you are the one who gets to write a new chapter. It's no coincidence that this healing is awakening within someone ruled by Venus, the planet of harmony, balance, and beauty. Libra has always been the sign tasked with reconciling opposites, with weaving together the seen and unseen into something cohesive and clear. That sensitivity you carry? That deep knowing, even when you don't have all the facts? That's your gift. It's not here to overwhelm you. It's here to guide you through this exact kind of transition. The ancestral energy that's coming forward now doesn't do so to haunt or overwhelm. It rises to complete itself. The image of the elder, the great-grandmother energy, is not merely symbolic. It is a way of showing you that your life is not just your own. You are standing in a field shaped by many before you, but you are not powerless within it. On the contrary, you are the one they entrusted with the ability to choose something different. You are not repeating. You are responding. You are not doomed to copy. You are the bridge that ends the loop. There's a quiet promise that lives in wisdom traditions: when one person heals, 1,000 behind them rise lighter. Not because they needed saving, but because someone finally stopped the ripple. Someone chose presence instead of reaction. Peace instead of projection. That someone, right now, is you. And no, it doesn't require perfection. It only requires awareness, a willingness to pause, and the courage to name what you feel without guilt. You don't need to perform your healing. You don't need to explain it. You only need to live it. This is where spiritual insight becomes practical. Try something simple but intentional, like placing a bowl of clean water and a few white flowers in the southeast corner of your space. Not because it's magic, but because it's meaningful. Ritual reminds the body what the mind forgets: that you are capable of transformation through presence. That water can carry. That flowers soften what feels unmovable. Each morning, when the day is still quiet, close your eyes and let yourself say it gently: I am the one chosen to end this cycle. You don't have to feel brave to be brave. And you don't need to see the full picture to begin stepping into it. Trust the timing, even when you don't yet trust the outcome. Trust that your life has been preparing you not to carry more, but to release what never belonged to you in the first place. Let that be enough for today. And from that place, the future will begin to shape itself through your hands. There's something remarkable about timing, not just how events unfold, but when they do. In astrology, timing isn't just coincidence, it's orchestration. The current alignment forming in your chart, Libra, between Jupiter, Venus, and Pluto is one of those rare orchestrations. These three celestial forces, each with its own language, are speaking in harmony now, and they are speaking directly to you. Jupiter, the great expander, brings blessings and opportunities, but only where we're willing to step forward. Venus, your ruling planet, governs love, value, and what we believe we deserve. And Pluto, the great transformer, pulls truth from the depths, not to scare us, but to set us free. This triad comes together only once every 84 years. That's nearly a century. And it's not happening somewhere abstract in the sky, it's activating specific houses in your personal chart that relate to wealth, connection, and purpose. It's no exaggeration to say that this moment is designed to initiate a personal renaissance. But like any doorway, it doesn't swing open for everyone at once. It requires your presence. It waits for your willingness. Sometimes the universe doesn't test our worthiness. It tests our readiness. And readiness doesn't mean having it all figured out. It means having the courage to say yes when the door appears. That door may not come with flashing lights. It might be subtle, a dream that lingers longer than usual, a message that feels strangely meant for you, an invitation that arrives softly but carries weight. In the next 3 days, pay attention to those subtle signals. Not everything sacred comes with thunder. In 2 weeks, a choice will present itself. This won't be a random coincidence, it will feel like alignment. Maybe a conversation will nudge open a new career path. Maybe someone will offer something, a collaboration, a relationship, an unexpected idea. The invitation may not look like a finished gift. But it will hold a thread, and if your heart says yes, even a little, follow it. This is where your trust becomes the bridge between the known and the potential. By the time the next month arrives, the puzzle pieces you've been carrying will begin to click into place. That sense of uncertainty, of holding fragments and wondering if they'll ever form a whole, will give way to clarity. You'll look back at moments you thought were delays and realize they were groundwork. You'll see that what felt slow was actually sacred preparation. And while all of this is written in the stars, it is not automatic. It depends on your response. You are not a passive recipient of destiny, you are its collaborator. Just as a gardener doesn't command the sun to rise but still must plant the seeds, your role now is to say, "I'm ready." That is enough. You don't need to force, hustle, or control what unfolds. You need only to acknowledge the door and walk through it with intention. Even sacred moments require your consent. In the quiet language of wisdom, it's often said, "The door opens to those who knock, but it stays open only for those who step forward." So, take a breath. Feel into your body. If something in you knows this is your time, name it. Affirm it. Declare it. Write it in the comments, not for me but for you. For the future version of you who will look back on today as the day things began to shift. Say, clearly and bravely, "I'm ready to step into my destined path." Let that simple act be the spark. Everything else will meet you there. Not every change begins with a thunderclap. Some arrive as a quiet pulse in the chest, a sudden wave of emotion, or an inexplicable warmth in the palms that doesn't seem to come from anything external. These moments may seem small, but they're deeply significant. They are signs that something within you, deep within your biology, your nervous system, your inner blueprint is starting to shift. For Libra, a sign so finely attuned to subtle energies and emotional undercurrents, this kind of change can feel both mysterious and intimate. But make no mistake, this is transformation, and it's happening from the inside out. When you feel your heart racing for no reason, when you wake up with dreams that feel more like instructions than stories, or when you notice that your emotions seem more vibrant or even more sensitive than usual, you're not unraveling. You're recalibrating. Your body is catching up to the higher frequencies your soul has already chosen. This is not stress, it's preparation. It's a refinement process. You're being aligned with a new level of receiving, and the universe is making room for more love, more clarity, and more abundance in your life by fine-tuning the channels through which they'll arrive. In the language of energy, your heart and crown centers your ability to love fully and to trust what you can't always see are becoming more open. When these two centers awaken simultaneously, it's often a sign that you're entering a period of integration, where wisdom and compassion must move together. You're not just being asked to understand the next steps of your life. You're being asked to feel your way into them. To let your body become the compass that your mind hasn't been able to calibrate on its own. This is where physical support becomes emotional support. Supporting your body during energetic change is not about ritual or magic. It's about self-respect. Drinking warm water with ginger in the morning grounds your system and supports your heart. Soaking your feet in sea salt or mugwort at night isn't just about comfort, it tells your nervous system, you're safe to let go now. Using gentle colors around you, soft greens for healing, blush pinks for softness, milky whites for release, invites your environment to match the internal shift. These practices are more than habits. They're acts of self-compassion. And they remind you that you are not passive in your awakening. You are participating in it, one choice at a time. You're building a home within yourself that matches the life you're about to step into. And while the process can feel overwhelming at times, it's also a gift, because every adjustment, every new sensitivity, is a signal that you are becoming more able to receive what you once could only imagine. There's a gentle reminder in the way wisdom is passed down through generations. Growth doesn't always feel good, but it always leads to good. Sometimes it feels like breaking. Other times, like stretching beyond what you thought you were capable of. And in moments like these, it helps to remind yourself that you're not losing control, you're shedding old constraints. You're not falling apart, you're breaking open. Your emotions are not a weakness. They're a doorway. So if your body feels like it's speaking a new language right now, let it. Ask it what it needs. Ask it where it wants softness, what it's ready to let go of, and how you can support its becoming. You don't need to rush the answers. Just honor the asking. And if your heart feels like it's beginning to beat with a new rhythm, one that's not chaotic, but unfamiliar, lean in. That rhythm is not foreign. It's your real self finally coming into focus. And if you feel this shift happening, even in quiet ways, take a moment to name it out loud. Write in the comments, "I welcome this sacred recalibration." Let your voice be the anchor. Let the world hear that you are not resisting change, you are rising to meet it. Something beautiful happens when your soul begins to reorganize itself, not out of chaos, but out of clarity. What you're feeling now, Libra, is not confusion. It's the gentle unraveling of who you thought you needed to be, so that who you truly are can rise. This phase may feel quieter than others. You may not see dramatic events, but rather subtle shifts, certain people naturally drifting away, activities that once energized you now losing their pull, and a deep hunger to create, express, or build something meaningful, not to prove yourself, but simply because your soul can't not do it anymore. In astrology, this process aligns with the energy of the 11th and 5th houses, the balance between community and personal expression. When your inner landscape begins this recalibration, it means you're being called to become the source of your reality, not just a reactor to it. What that looks like in practice might surprise you. It may start with a hobby you've neglected or a skill you've never shared. It could be journaling, singing quietly when no one's listening, or designing a logo for a project you're not even sure you'll launch. But these aren't just leisure activities. They're signals. They're whispers from your future self, gently reminding you that fulfillment isn't found in chasing standards, it's found in creating new ones that reflect your truth. And yes, as this happens, certain connections will fade. Not all at once, and not always painfully. Some people will simply no longer vibrate at your frequency, and that's okay. You don't need to rescue every relationship or explain every shift. Your energy is aligning with something higher now, and part of honoring that is learning to bless the exits as much as you celebrate the entrances. This is not rejection, it's redirection. It's your ecosystem rebalancing to support the next version of you. It's important to know that you're not being asked to abandon structure, you're being invited to build your own. The most radical act of self-love you can take in this moment is to start. Start the channel. Start the design. Start the page, the sketch, the melody, even if it's raw. Especially if it's raw. The world doesn't need more polished perfection. It needs truth. And Libra, your truth is art. Your truth is the bridge between beauty and meaning, between vision and value. Remember, you were never meant to mold yourself into someone else's definition of success. You are the new standard. You are the example the next generation will look toward, not because you had all the answers, but because you dared to follow the questions. And in moments of doubt, when imposter syndrome whispers its familiar fears, remind yourself, you're not here to replicate someone else's path. You're here to illuminate your own. Take a moment now and ask yourself, what would I create if I stopped waiting for permission? What expression is trying to be born through me, not later, but now? These aren't rhetorical questions. They're doorways. Walk through them with tenderness and courage. And if you feel this resonance, if something in your body says yes, let it be known. Write in the comments, I am the new standard for a meaningful life. Say it not just for you, but for every version of yourself that was once silenced or afraid. The construction of your new inner world is already underway. All it needs now is your full participation. Libra, if you've made it to this moment, then perhaps you already sense it, something is shifting, not just around you, but within you. This isn't just another reading. This is a divine nudge. A quiet yet undeniable reminder that your life isn't meant to be stuck in waiting, questioning, or compromise. You are not here to endlessly weigh your options. You are here to remember that balance does not mean withholding your desires, it means honoring all of them. Love and abundance. Stability and creativity. Inner peace and outer expression. You were never meant to choose one over the other. You were meant to rise into all of it. As the energy of this message settles into your heart, I want you to reflect gently on this question. What part of you have you been putting on hold, waiting for the right time? What door have you been standing in front of, afraid to open, not because you doubt the blessing, but because you're still unsure if you deserve it? Let me tell you, from a place of deep truth, you do. You always have. This reading has revealed so much: an ancient karmic cycle ready to close, a once-in-a-lifetime alignment of cosmic forces calling your name, a destined person preparing to enter your orbit, and a whisper from your own soul, saying, now. The time is now. And still, free will remains your greatest gift. You can ignore the signs. You can delay the healing. You can dim your light a little longer, but know that the longer you wait, the more life will continue to place you in situations that demand your growth. So why not say yes now? Why not become the active author of your life instead of just the reader of your fate? This is your moment, Libra, to stop apologizing for your light, to stop shrinking your brilliance to fit within others' expectations. The stars don't hold back their glow, and neither should you. So here's what I want you to do: pause, breathe, and claim it. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments as a declaration to the universe: I step into the era of my light. Feel what that means. Let it land in your body. And if this message stirred something inside you, if you felt even the tiniest flicker of yes, then don't keep that energy to yourself. Like this video to affirm the shift. Share it if you feel called. And make sure to subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, where each message is channeled with the sole purpose of helping you live in alignment with the highest version of yourself. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. You are the shift. You are the new standard for what it means to live with grace, strength, and radiant authenticity. And remember, even if the path ahead still feels uncertain, you're not walking it alone. The universe has already begun rearranging itself in your favor, but it needs your full-hearted participation. So Libra, will you walk forward now? Will you say yes to the life that has been waiting to meet you on the other side of your hesitation? I'm here with you. I believe in you. And this is just the beginning.